All right, let's get straight into it. Today, we're cracking the code on one of the most annoying parts of the AS Politics Paper 1. You know the one I'm talking about? That supposedly easy 10-mark question that just seems impossible to get full marks on. Well, that's about to change. We are going to build the perfect blueprint for a 10 out of 10. Let's do this. So why is this question so tough? I mean, seriously, you've done the revision, you know your stuff, you might even write a ton, but the marks just aren't there. It's super frustrating, right? Well, here's the secret. It's not you, it's a trap. It's a very specific trap the exam board sets, and almost everyone falls into it. But not you. Not after this. We're going to make sure you can spot that trap and sidestep it like a pro. Okay, let's dive into section 1, the 10-mark trap. We're going to pull back the curtain on the single biggest mistake that examiners see, year after year. This one thing is literally the difference between getting half marks and getting a perfect score. Let's uncover it. And here it is, straight from the horse's mouth. The number one mistake is something called knowledge dumping. You know that feeling, right? The clock is ticking, you panic, and you just unload everything you know onto the page. 5, 6, 7 different points. It feels like you're doing a great job, showing the examiner how much you've revised. But here's the hard truth. You're not. You're just listing vague facts. It's all quantity, zero quality. And it's a surefire way to kill your grade. And this is the brutal result of knowledge dumping. 5 out of 10. That's it. That's your ceiling. If you just list a bunch of facts or, and this is just as important, if you only write one really well-developed point, you cannot get more than half marks. You've hit a wall. It doesn't matter how amazing that single point is. So, how do we smash through that ceiling? We need a totally new game plan. Okay, section 2. This is where we get into the real secret sauce. To get those top marks, it's not just about what you avoid. It's about playing the game by the examiner's rules. And for this question, the rulebook is, well, it's a bit different. This is not your typical essay. The biggest rule, the one you absolutely have to understand, is what I call the zero analysis rule. Seriously, burn this slide into your brain. This question is testing one thing and one thing only, Assessment Objective 1 or AO1. That's just your knowledge and understanding. That's it. There are literally 0 marks available for analysis, that's AO2, or for evaluation, which is AO3. So all that time you spend arguing a point or saying if something was effective or a failure, it gets you nothing, not a single mark. This is a pure knowledge and describe mission. That's all they want. This is the practical application of that rule. You need to literally retrain your brain to use a different vocabulary. Look at the left column. Those are the forbidden words. Effective because, more successful was. I believe that. That's all analysis. For this question, it's poison. Now look to the right. This is where the marks are. This is exemplified by. A characteristic of this is, see the difference? You're not judging, you're just describing. You're a reporter, not a commentator. Stick to the right-hand column and you're golden. Okay, enough about what not to do. Let's get constructive. We've cleared away the bad habits. Now it's time to build the good ones. This next section is the blueprint. It's your step-by-step formula for a guaranteed 10 out of 10. Let's build it. First things first, forget everything you know about writing essays. Seriously, no introduction, no conclusion. They are a complete waste of your time and will get you 0 marks. Instead, you're going to use something called the dual knowledge block structure. All that means is you're going to write 2 separate, well-explained points. That's it. 2 blocks of knowledge. You just get right to it. And inside each of those 2 knowledge blocks, you're going to use this super simple, super effective formula, PDE. It's so easy to remember. P is for point. Just state your point clearly. D is for description. Explain how that thing works factually. And E is for example. Back it up with a real, concrete, modern UK example. You do that once for your first block, then you do it all over again for your second block. PDE times 2. That's the whole answer. Right. That's the theory, but theory is one thing, practice is another. So let's actually put this formula to work. We're going to take a real exam-style question and build the perfect answer together, step by step, using our PDE blocks. Here we go. A classic question. Explain 2 functions of political parties in the UK. The key word there is 2. The examiner is literally telling us they want 2 knowledge blocks, so that's exactly what we're going to give them. Let's build block number 1. Okay, knowledge block 1. We start with P for point. Don't be clever, just be clear. You write, one function is representation. Boom, done. The examiner immediately knows what this paragraph is about. No messing around. Next up, D for description. We just explain what that means, how does it work. We could say something like, parties represent the views of their members and voters, making sure that different interests in society get a voice in Parliament. Notice what we're not saying. We're not saying if they're good at it or bad at it. We're just describing the function. Pure facts. And now we lock it all in with E for example. Be specific, be modern, be British. For instance, the Labour Party traditionally represents the interests of the working class and trade unions, which you can see in the policies in their 2024 manifesto. And that's it. One perfect PDE block is done, halfway to full marks. Time for knowledge block 2. We just repeat the process. Start with a really clear signpost for the examiner. P for points. A second function is policy formulation. Simple, clear, and shows you're answering the question directly.
Okay, D for description. What does policy formulation actually mean? Well, it means parties cook up policies, bundle them together into a program for government, and put that in their manifesto. And hey, if you want to show off a little, you can drop in a key term here, like calling this process aggregation. That just shows the examiner you really know your stuff.
And we bring it home with our final E, the example. Let's pick a big one. In the 2019 general election, the Conservative Party built their campaign around the Get Brexit Done policy, which gave them a very clear mandate. And we're done. 2 perfect PDE blocks. That's a 10-mark answer right there. Now, I use the word mandate on purpose there. It's not just a fancy word. A mandate is the authority you get from voters to actually do what you said you'd do. Using precise terms like this is like a secret signal to the examiner that you're not just repeating facts from a textbook, you actually get the concepts. It's what separates the good answers from the great ones. So you've written your masterpiece, 2 beautiful PDE blocks. But before you move on to the next question, there's one last, super quick step. Think of it as your final quality control check. It'll take you 30 seconds and could save you a bunch of marks. Just quickly run through this in your head. 2 points? Yep. 0 analysis? Double check for any of those forbidden words. UK examples? Absolutely. Tech terms? Got 'em. No waffle? All good. If you can mentally tick off every single one of these, you can be really confident you've just banked a top-tier score. And there you have it. That is the blueprint. It's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. It's about giving the examiner exactly what they're looking for, no more, no less. So I'll leave you with this to think about. Now that you have the formula, if the question was about pressure groups, which 2 functions would you pick? How would you build your 2 PDE blocks? Have a think, because you now have everything you need to absolutely nail this question.